Yes, moments of truth and natural wisdom. Michiechi abusuafo nyinaa. I salute all the family members. Yes, today we are going to learn the meaning of a certain word, superstition, and use the Bible to prove that religion is the same as what? Superstition. And basically, superstition is irrational belief system, believing in things that does not make sense, okay, believing in things that does not base on knowledge. You get that? So we are going to know that religion is also a belief system that does not base on knowledge, okay. Religion is irrational belief of certain deity, of certain God in the sky, or other deities. Religion, believing in things that does not make sense. We are going to use your own Bible to prove to you. So first, let's know the meaning of what? Superstition. Superstition. First definition that I want to give you: a widely held but irrational belief in a supernatural influences, especially as leading to good luck or bad luck, is what? Superstition. Believing in things irrationally is superstition. Now, second definition: a belief system or practice resulting from ignorance. That's good. Superstition, okay? A belief system or practice resulting from ignorance, fear of the unknown, trust in magic or wonders or miracles in church, prayer camps and whatever. It's called what? Superstition. Belief system or practice resulting from what? Ignorance. Example is to believe in miracles. Yes, let's move on. Another definition I want to give you, please. This is so serious because our people have been deceived for so long, and it is time to let them know that some things that they believe in does not make sense. They should use their brain to think about things that to develop their lives. Creativity. It's time we also think about inventions, building industries, so that the country will move forward, so that the youth will get job to do, coming out with something creative. And you not always rely on foreign aids. We see the white as superhumans. No, they are not superhumans. This thing that they use, their brain, creativity, inventions, because they have stopped believing in such irrational things. They have stopped believing in things that does not make sense. So they are putting their brain into good use. And we are here believing, using the precious brain we have, given to us by nature, to believe in things that does not make sense. Spend all our times in churches and prayer camps, praying 5 times a day, but still your life does not change or has not changed. Believing in things that does not make sense. The third definition that I want to give you is that a belief or notion not based on reason. A belief system or notion not based on reason or knowledge. So a belief system that does not base on knowledge is what? Superstition. Very good. In other words, irrational fear of what is unknown or mysterious, especially in connection with religion. You can Google it. and you will see it for yourselves. Okay, research the meaning of superstition. Research for yourselves. Superstition, irrational fear of what is unknown or mysterious, especially in connection to what religion. So we are going to read the Bible to prove to you that religion is a belief system or irrational fear. Believing in religion is irrational fear of what is unknown or mysterious. For example, you believe that there is a God hanging in the sky who have eyes like you human being, so that whatever you are doing, he sees you, so you fear. For example, you are a man and a young guy. You see, you have seen a lady that what will I say? Obano ekweyi pa ntino winya anka obeye word. Okay, now mwabeye friends, mwabeye so much interested in each other no. Na edu baby mo pese mo enjoy mo no. Okay, woni oba no ehye den mu no, oba wo hu se bia open asem ekweyi ni ade ade ono nso atwe ama wo search ale ibotumi abi machine no. Belief system, because you are too superstitious. In other words, you are too religious nintino. Woni we girlfriend crash hono krampo no, na mo enjoy mo no, wa adwen ne say Nyankopon bi ehwe wo. Enu na me kire say a irrational fear of what is unknown. Because you were told to believe that there's a God in the sky. Think about it. So that is what I'm talking about here. And lastly, let me give you the definition from the Cambridge Dictionary. Okay, the Cambridge Dictionary defines superstition as a belief system that is not based on human reason or scientific knowledge, but connected with old ideas about magic, miracles, and etc., etc., etc. Okay, so that's the Cambridge definition of superstition. Okay, a belief system that is not based on human reason. This thing, it doesn't based on human reason. It's irrational. That is superstition. And before we finish, you will know that religion is the same as superstition. In other words, religion is a belief system that is not based on knowledge. It's not based on knowledge. It's not based on scientific knowledge, and it's not based on human reasoning. Religion is the same as superstition. Yes. So as we now know the meaning of superstition, let's go to the Bible. Okay, let's go to Acts chapter 17 verse 22. Paul was speaking there. Paul was pinpointing that superstition is the same as what? Religion. Believing in things irrationally, or believing in things that does not make sense. Believing in things that does not make that does not based on knowledge. Most of the times I tell you that true religion in the ancient of days, okay, based on knowledge and not faith. So the Egyptians built pyramids and other wonders of the world. It's a religion, okay? The kind of religion that they practice, okay, enable them to build pyramid. That means that the true religion of Africa was based on what? Knowledge. So they were able to do things that in this 21st century, scientists cannot decode, scientists cannot understand. That kind of technology, scientists up to now cannot understand. They built it based on their religion, knowledge. That's a true religion. But in this 21st century, the kind of religion that you people believe is based on faith. Hebrew 1 verse 1. Go and read it, and you know the definition of faith. Believing in things that you can't prove it. And so Egyptians were practicing, ancient Egyptians were practicing what? Religion. A religion based on knowledge. So our ancestors in the ancient days were religious, but the kind of religion that they practiced was based on knowledge, not today. Not today's religion that's based on faith. In other words, today's religion is based on things that do not make sense. It doesn't based on knowledge. It's irrational belief system. So let's go to Acts chapter 17, verse 22. Okay, that is the Amplified Bible, and I'll give you other versions too, and we know that. Paul is saying in Acts chapter 22, Acts 17, verse 22 that, and Paul got to his feet, that is what is written, and Paul got to his feet on Mars Hill, and said, O men of Athens, I see that you are overmuch given to fear of the gods. Okay, fear of the gods. Now, which gods Paul is talking about? Which gods? Which gods? So the fear of God is actually superstition or religion. Of course, all religion fear their God in the sky, especially Christians and then Muslims. They fear God that is in the sky. And let's go to good news. Let's see what good news also written. Acts chapter 17 verse 22. According to Good News Bible, Paul stood up in front of the city council and said, I see that in every way you Athenians are very religious. Okay? Paul stood up in front of the city council and said, I see that in every way you Athenians are very religious. Okay? Paul was preaching to his own people, and that is what he said to them. They are too what? Religious. In other passages in the Bible, they used superstition instead of what? Religious. Or superstitious instead of what? Religious. So superstition and religion are the same thing. Now let's go to the Catholic Bible and let's see what is written there. Okay, Acts 17:22. Paul said, but Paul, standing in the middle of the Areopagus, said, Men of Athens, I perceive that in all things you are rather superstitious. Okay, and we now know the meaning of what? Superstition, or things that are superstitious. So let's go to the last version the last passage that I want to give it to you is from the Acts, the Acts of the Apostles. Read this, the Acts of the Apostles. So chapter 17 verse 22. Paul said, I perceive that in all things you are too superstitious. Okay? You are too what? Superstitious. So in other passages, the Bible uses religion in place of what? Superstition. So good news. Okay? According to Good News, Paul stood up in front of the city council and said, I see that in every way you Athenians are very religious. They are very what? Religious. So if you are religious, then you are superstitious, meaning that you believe in things that does not make sense. That's the meaning of superstition. Right here that we read it out from the Cambridge Dictionary and other meanings. Okay, you can Google it and see. Now, Good News Bible is using the word very religious. Now, King James Version, okay, King James is saying that I perceive that in all things you are too superstitious. Thus, according to the Bible, according to your own Bible, the word superstition and religion, okay, are the same thing. Are the same thing. Therefore, in the biblical text, okay, in the biblical text, the words superstition and religion are the same thing. And superstition and religion are believing in things that you don't understand. In other words, believing in things that does not make sense. So you can do your research and then you can find out the truth for yourselves. So you don't just have to believe things. You have to know. You have to know those things, right? So we have actually used the Bible, your own Bible, to prove to you that the words superstition and religion are the same thing. And superstition and religion, as we have learned today, okay, means that believing in things that does not make sense, believing in things that does not base on knowledge. In other words, religion, to believe or to have a belief in a religion is irrational. It does not base on human reason or scientific knowledge. So in the most Christians say that our ancestors, okay, were superstitious, and for that matter, they are in Christ, so they are not superstitious. Whatever they believe in is real, but you know what? They don't know. They don't know, and they don't even read their own Bible, so they don't know that superstition, the words superstition and religion are the same thing. So don't say that your ancestors were superstitious. Think about what is it. You don't know the meaning of what religion or superstition. Find out and you realize that believing in religion and superstition are the same thing. And that is, you believe in things that does not base on knowledge. Irrational belief system. So please, you can do your research and find out for yourselves. And the Bible text that I've given you, you can actually read it on your own when you are free. And you realize that the Bible actually proves to you that believing in religion is superstitious. It's irrational. It does not base on knowledge. So for now, I want to end here, okay? And the next video that we are going to do, I'm going to talk about religion. Believing in religion actually is a form of mental illness. Interesting, okay? And we are going to use your own Bible to prove it. It's a form of mental illness. Why am I saying that? I'm saying that because believing in things that does not make sense, does not based on knowledge, okay? Irrational belief system. And believing in things that does not exist. Believing in things that does not exist. Like believing that there's some God in the sky, that whatever you do, he's watching you. It's a form of mental illness. Interesting. So please, moments of truth for natural wisdom. I salute, okay? I love you all.